Dear students for class 11th, Human Physiology, Chapter Excretory Products and their Elimination. The topic for our discussion today is tubular reabsorption, and the tubular secretion. Tubular secretion. We have to make the difference between the two. Tubular reabsorption and tubular secretion. Tubular reabsorption and tubular secretion take place in the uriniferous tubules below the glomerulus level. Tubular reabsorption refers to the passage of selected materials from the ultrafiltrate into the blood. Ultrafiltrate into the blood. Ultrafiltrate to blood. This is tubular reabsorption. It means that the ultrafiltrate which is produced in the glomerulus and later on put to the loop of Henle, that's called the ultrafiltrate. This ultrafiltrate has some selected substances which are very needed in the blood. They flow again into the bloodstream and go to the body. That is why this reabsorption, putting of these substances from the ultrafiltrate into the blood. So far the tubular secretion is concerned, it refers to the addition of selected materials from the blood to the ultrafiltrate. This is reverse from the blood to the ultrafiltrate. This refers to the phenomenon whenever there are some substances which are waste products that are not passed through the glomerular filtration, they still are present in the blood, but these are again put into the what we call as the proximal and distal convoluted tubule and loop of Henle. This is called as tubular secretion. The second point of difference, it reduces the volume of ultrafiltrate. This reduces the volume of ultrafiltrate because the substances present in the ultrafiltrate are poured into the blood in the opposite direction. In this tubular secretion, it increases the volume of ultrafiltrate. This decreases and tubular secretion increases the volume of ultrafiltrate. This is the second point of difference between the two. One more difference is there. The tubular reabsorption occurs by diffusion and active transport. The tubular reabsorption takes place by special process of diffusion and active transport. Diffusion and active transport. Diffusion refers to flow from higher concentration to lower concentration, and active transport is from the lower concentration to higher concentration against the concentration gradient by utilizing energy. This occurs mainly by active transport. Tubular secretion takes place by active transport. Active transport takes place against the concentration gradient. It utilizes energy. The fourth point of difference is it takes place throughout the urinary tubule. Throughout the urinary tubule, this tubular reabsorption takes place. So far the tubular secretion is concerned, it takes place in the proximal and distal convoluted tubules. It takes place in the PCT and DCT only. It takes place in the urinary tubules, tubular reabsorption. One more difference is there. In the tubular reabsorption, reabsorbed materials include glucose. The reabsorbed substances which are passed from this filtrate into the blood, they include glucose, which is again poured into the bloodstream. It includes amino acids. They are again poured into the bloodstream, and some ions. Those ions are sodium, those ions are potassium, and those ions are carbonate ions, and those ions are chloride ions, as well as water. They are put again into blood circulation as well as some urea. But so far this tubular secretion is concerned, secreted materials include creatinine, the substances which are put into by the tubular secretion, that includes creatinine. Creatinine is a type of amino acid derivative. It includes hippuric acid. Hippuric acid is also amino acid derivative that are put in the filtrate, and it includes potassium ion, it includes hydrogen ion, and it includes ammonia as well as foreign substances. Foreign substances that are put from the bloodstream into the filtrate for excretion. One more point of difference is the tubular reabsorption. It does not occur in animals that lack glomeruli, marine fish, and desert amphibians. This tubular reabsorption does not occur in marine fish, the fishes which live in salt water, seas and oceans, and the desert mammals. The mammals which are in the desert, the tubular reabsorption does not take place there. So far the tubular secretion is concerned, it is the only mode of excretion in animals that lack glomeruli. Tubular secretion takes place in those animals which have that do not have the glomeruli. This is the only mode of excretion, tubular secretion. That is the difference between tubular absorption and tubular secretion.